So this is part 4 of using the Beck WSK, and right now it's dry season here in Costa Rica, which means that the wind has picked up. I'm just going to apologize ahead of time if the audio is not that great, and if you hear a lot of breeze, let me show you why. This is the view off our back porch, and as you can tell, it's a breezy kind of day. So in the first video, you guys saw me harvest this stick down at the creek, and I finally got it finished. I don't think I'm going to do any more carving on it, but what I wanted to do was show the different things that are possible to do using a large knife like a WSK when it comes to carving and doing bushcraft kind of notches and things like that. So what I'm going to do is go over each section and kind of how I was able to carve that, some of the advantages of the WSK design, and just kind of a finished look. Okay, so we're going to start at the end. For this notch right here, I used the saw teeth. It just went in one continuous circle. The bottom section is pretty plain, but then I put this groove. See if I can get that in there. This was used, this was made by holding on to the back of the blade, starting with one line and just opening up both sides. This is a kind of a crosshatch design that can be used for lashing, and that is just using the saw teeth here and here to make an X. A little farther up is the kind of notch you'd see on the end of a bow. The wind's really picking up. This I did out of, just for fun, I put in a groove on both sides, and I just kept opening up and going deeper until I got through. And once I was able to do that, I widened the sides a little bit more so that now the blade can go all the way through, just for fun, just to show that it can be done. And I used the saw teeth to level out the top and the bottom. Right here, let me see if I can get the angle right, is a notch, and you can see it's called a dovetail. It's wider at the bottom than it is at the top. The next notch right here, 90-degree here with an angle there. We have a just a reduction, just a round reduction. Another different type of latch or crosshatch can be used for tying stuff down. Over here on this side is a pot hook. And then this is turning around, or a cylindrical into a flat. And then I put a circle or a hole in the center. This right here is just a half circle. Nice and smooth. And right here, this one is just what the saw teeth will do on a straight cut. Now we're going more into the ornamental stuff. I made this little section here, and then the next section is a spiral all the way up. Over here was a ball. And now we get into the only real kind of carving figurine I did. This is a snake's head. You guys can see that there. And the scales on the back here, I did that with the saw teeth. And what, if you, I don't know if you guys can see this, but the points of each individual saw cut fit in the top of the little diamonds of the scales. And by putting rows of indentions in the wood, I was able to space all of this out. And then by putting the little Kydex cap on the top, I was able to grab and individually score and cut out each scale. So that goes all the way around. On the belly, I used just long straight scales, and then probably the hardest part was the head, getting the scales in there. So I have several hours of work in making this. It was a lot of fun. It was challenging in a good way. The advantage that I found with the WSK, whenever I was trying to cut the designs into the wood, especially in a circular motion going around the width, the quarter round was fantastic for that, because you could grab up and twist the wood and this would score really deep, which once I had that section marked, then I could use this section of the blade to work around it. This front part here, I know it's been described as a hatchet, but when you grab back here like this, it's pretty much an ulu. You can do a lot of really good carving with it. And then if I grab up towards the top like that, I use this point a lot for doing detail work. Probably the best part about doing this project was letting my imagination go and kind of thinking, oh well, you know, what if I put this design here, or what if I made, you know, this kind of notch here. I'd never carved an animal figurine before, so doing the snake's head, that's a first for me. And then getting the chance to use the same tool on all of it, and looking at the knife as multiple tools and seeing what was possible, and just thinking outside the box. So this was a blast to do. I'm probably going to end up putting like a clear polyurethane coat on it and just setting it back as a keepsake. It's, you know, I wouldn't want to use this as an actual walking stick simply because there's so much wood that I've taken off of it, but it was a really fun experiment. And it made me even more familiar with the different angles and curves that are on this blade and how useful they can be. Using my main knife from start to finish. And I don't care if you use a Mora or an Air Force survival knife, a Bussy, a Kukri. You know, I mean, using the knife that, or the tool that you use as your main blade, and doing things a little out of the box, like carving a snake's head, or started working on a tri-stick, getting familiar with the tools that you use and putting a tool that's maybe not optimum for carving, but working your way around it and seeing, oh yeah, this works just great. You know, this will work just fine. It opens up possibilities and it makes you more effective with the tool. So I don't care what knife you have. I would really suggest that get out there and try new and different things with it, projects, and think outside the box. Another thing I found useful, that little section of Kydex right there that I use to cover the saw teeth, that worked out great, because it stays in place. It's easy on, it's easy off, and so I could hold the back of the blade while I was carving, and then if I needed to use the saw, which I use the saw a lot for this project, and I could do whatever I needed to get done. So that little Kydex piece has earned a permanent spot in my little Bob Ross personal survival kit. It's something I always want to keep with me because it's just so handy. So another project I've been working on is a new and improved Frankenblock. Now, you guys are probably familiar with the original one. It's right here. And basically it is a flat block of wood with leather glued on and rouge for sharpening. It's flat on one side, but you can see right here is a curve. And the curve on the top is for that quarter round. I've been using this for a year and a half, 2 years now. It works great. But I'm building another one right now, and this is it. It's wider. And let me explain why. Right here, from the plunge line to the point, is the same width as this new Frankenblock. And they go together just like that. Make sure you guys can see. Okay? Now, an advantage of this is, once you lay the blade on the block, it catches right here, right on that edge. So you have a consistent spot that you're pulling back against. Okay? So whenever you've got, like, let's say you're going to do a complete sharpening of your tracker style knife. So you can take some, let's say 300 grit wet dry sandpaper, like 300, 600, 1,000, 2,000. You can lay it on top of this block, and because the block's big enough, you can hold the edges of the sandpaper down. Use either water or oil, whatever you want. And let's see here. I'm going to turn it this way so you guys can see it. And you can hold the blade nice and steady against that, so you get a smooth grind, basically, because that's what it's doing. You're lightly grinding the edge back, depending on what grit you use. And once you get through going through your 300, 600, 1,000, 2,000, however you want to do it, then you have the green rouge on your leather, and you can strop it. And in between heavy-duty sharpenings, you can touch it up with that. And there's not as much wiggle room with this one. You can see there's a little bit of wiggle room, and you can also change the angle of this section right here, this curved section. And I'm not positive that's good for the quarter round. I think it's better to have something where it's locked in and you have a consistent pull. So I'm going to be using this one for a while, and I've actually, this one's getting shipped off to a subscriber, but I'm going to be making another one for myself in a future video. I think this upgrade is really worth having. So I would suggest to anybody out there who has a tracker style blade, measure from that plunge line to the quarter round. Get a block of wood, same measurement. Throw a little bit of thin veg tan leather on top, glue it on there, and I think it gives you a good, solid, consistent base for your sharpening. And of course the front section is no problem either, because as you're holding the sandpaper, you can reach all of it. Hey guys, so that's the end of this video, and I just wanted to thank you all because we've gotten a kind of increase in our subscribers here lately. We've had some wonderful comments, and I try to read and get back to everyone. I hope that the videos help you guys out. If anyone was curious in the WSK tracker design, I hope these help. If you guys have any other ideas of things you want to see, let me know. Put it down in the comments. If you want to see more of Costa Rica, more about the jungles and things here, let me know, and we will get on it. You guys take care. God bless.